everybody, welcome back to My Big Sister Podcast. It is the first episode of season 3. My name is Grace and this is my big sister Josie.
Hello everyone, in today's episode we have a very special guest.
You're probably wondering why we're sat next to each other, and it's because we have our sister Daisy joining us in the studio for the first time. Do you want to say hello to everyone?
Hello. Daisy, I feel like you're a mysterious character that we always talk about in our podcast.
Yeah, you're like, you know, like on Friends how Phoebe has the roommate that we never see. You're literally like that. You're like the person that we're always talking about on here, but you never actually on it. You're literally on the wall behind us. You're featured everywhere, but not actually in an episode yet.
I get mentioned every now and then.
We're very happy to have you on. I don't know if you want to give a little intro to everyone of like who you are, what's your name, how old are you?
Okay. What's your name? Hi everyone. Well, my name is Daisy. I am the middle sister. I'm 28. I've been asked to be on the podcast before, can I just say? It's not for lack of them trying.
But also we didn't have a third mic for ages.
Yeah. So. Now we have got a third mic and you are our first ever guest. Yeah.
I'm very honoured to be here.
But there might be other guests in the future now that we do have a third mic. So I hope you enjoy and hopefully we can work out how to film and edit this correctly.
It's a lovely studio. I love what you've done with the place here.
Thank you.
I'm a very private person, so I don't use Instagram. I mean, I lurk on Instagram. I just don't
You're more of a consumer than a poster.
Yes, I don't like to post myself.
Do you have TikTok? Do you?
No.
No, you don't go on TikTok?
I don't have an account.
You don't have Facebook? You're just an Instagram mainly scroller?
Instagram, I love Pinterest. Growing up in the 2010s, I was a big Tumblr.
Tumblr, yeah.
I like Tumblr that whole
come back. Were you
aesthetic.
on Tumblr?
Yeah, I was big on Tumblr.
You were big on Tumblr, or you mean you were just,
I was big on Tumblr.
You were big on Tumblr?
Yeah, I had like 1,000 followers or whatever.
Why? Do you still have your account? I want to go see what you used to post.
Does it even still exist?
I think it does, but I don't know if anyone even uses
Pinterest
it.
is the new Tumblr.
Pinterest, but then Pinterest has like gone a bit downhill.
Yeah, it's full of
what
AI.
was that other one where you did pictures?
We Heart
Lookbook.
Lookbook.
So Lookbook was the original influencer thing.
What was that other one we used to do, Daisy? Was it called Polyvore? Where you used to like pin, like it was all like transparent background and you would like build a little outfit and it would be like what I'm wearing to go meet Harry Styles on a date or something, and people would do the like what I would wear if I was on a date with Zayn and stuff like that.
I think Instagram has just merged all of those together in one now.
Yeah, pretty much. And TikTok though, because now that TikTok has like the pictures, I feel like people do post that sort of stuff on there as well.
So we've asked our audience for some questions for you, because I think our audience is very curious about our mysterious
you are like a mysterious person. So
I'm not going to be answering any personal questions, guys, but I would love to share some pearls of wisdom.
Yeah, I feel like you do have a different kind of outlook on some things, and it's always just good to get someone else's advice, because I feel like sometimes with us it is just like the blind leading the blind sometimes.
Rude.
Okay, well I'll give it a little bit of a spiritual angle.
Yeah, Daisy is much more spiritual than us. You're more kind of like, I don't know, you just have a different outlook on life, so I feel like you're going to be able to help these guys with their questions in a different way. So let's have a look at what you guys have been asking. As always, make sure you're following the Instagram at mybigsisterpodcast if you do want to get involved in questions, and we have also got our email address now where you can send in dilemmas, which is
mybigsisterpodcast@gmail.com.
Cool. You guys have an email?
Yeah, did you not know that?
No.
Professional.
Yeah, we have a little email.
Kind of old school though, like don't people just DM
we
you?
just thought like if people want to be anonymous, maybe like they don't want to link to their Instagram account, or whether they want to send like a whole essay that you're not going to type out on your phone, then they can send it to the Gmail. So if anyone does have any dilemmas that they want to send in there, then feel free, but let's have a look at what you guys said on Instagram. Okay, so the first question that we got from you guys is, how can you get rid of the feeling that you want to achieve a summer body? I think that is really hard. I feel like we have touched on this in like various episodes, but I think there is so much pressure when it comes to like, I feel like in January it's almost worse than summertime when it's like everyone's like trying to get a good body for summer. But I think
with you not being on TikTok, Daisy, do you feel like you kind of miss some of these like messages, or like, I don't know, does it help?
Do you feel less
being
pressured
off social media?
by these things, or is it? Are you still like aware of these like societal pressures?
I'm very much aware of them, but I have been previously when I was younger very susceptible to them, but I've come to the point now where I'm just so happy with myself that it's really easy for me just to say, accept yourself. But I wouldn't have listened to myself 6 years ago saying that. I would have said, but how? And it is just one of those things that you can't teach someone. You just have to go through things, and it's not nice to have to go through hard times, but a lot of the time, if you have been through something, then you are happier on the other end. So to the person that's asked specifically about pressures of
and feeling comfortable in summer,
feeling comfortable wanting to have a quote summer body, I would spin your mindset on this. So just think, if you woke up in the morning and you had whatever your quote dream body is, imagine you woke up with that dream body tomorrow, but you had to walk around in a huge jumper and huge sweatpants, and nobody, or you were invisible and nobody would see your body. Would you still want that body, knowing that no one else knew that you had it? If the answer is no, then you're doing it for other people.
Yeah.
And therefore, that's never going to make you happy.
Yeah, I think that is such
If the answer is yes, then do it for yourself. Do it to make yourself proud. But if you're only doing it so that other people will view you as a certain thing, then you're putting random people you don't know's opinions as more important than your own.
Mm-hmm.
And why are you giving them so much credit? Why are you giving some random person that's going to see you on the beach so much credit for your own self-worth? You know?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I feel like I definitely feel like when I was growing up, I was always like, I want to look a certain way to then get a great picture, or like get a bikini picture in summer when I'm on holiday, and like always wanting to look a certain way for social media specifically. And I feel like, yeah, if you think of it that way of like, if I couldn't take a picture of how I look, it's like, would you even care that much? And obviously it is nice to do, like, to make yourself feel pretty for when you're just sat at home. But yeah, I feel like when it comes to these like really extreme beauty standards, it's all just for other people most of the time.
If you were living on an island and there was no humans on the island and you were never going to see another human being again, would you push your body
to that extreme?
If the answer is yes, then obviously you're doing it for some like crazy fitness reason and go for it. But if the answer is no, then it really isn't that important, and you just need to break out of that cycle of thought. You're going to have the exact same body with a completely different mindset, and you will view your body completely differently, but it'll be the same body.
Yeah, I always say, like, if you aren't happy with your body, you need to just work on your brain too. Like, it's not always about your physical. You might feel like, oh, if I get this dream body, I will be happy, but no, it's your brain is what makes you feel joy and happiness. So working on your mental health, whether that's changing your body or not, like just working on your mental health will always make you feel better about your whole self rather than just changing how you look physically. Okay, someone said, I'm moving to a different country in September and starting at a new school. I'm moving from Italy to England. Any tips or advice about English schools?
I want to know how old this person is, because
I imagine they must be like a teenager, right? They're not going to be in like primary school posting on Instagram. So I assume if they're sending in this message, they're probably like teenage years.
That is hard to start a new school, like I guess no matter what age you're at, but I think especially coming from overseas. But I will say probably you might be considered to be like the cool Italian person, like the mysterious person.
Yeah, so like I honestly feel like whoever came from other countries was like, yeah, there was all this hype about them. Like at my school there was. I remember this one girl joined in like year 10 for like 1 year, and it was like all the boys fancied her and like she was so cool and interesting. And I honestly think like, yeah, if you don't mind that sort of attention, then I think like it can make you seem more interesting, and like you probably will be able to make friends quite easily.
I would say also that nobody knows who the hell you are. So you have all this stuff going on in your head. It's just about getting out of your head. You're living your life in your head. You're just a background character to all these people in the school. So you can be whoever you want to be.
Yeah, it's a nice like clean slate. It's almost like when you go to uni and like obviously you're not wanting to be someone you're not, but like if you don't feel like maybe you were your truest self at your old school, then maybe you're able to dress how you want or do your hair how you want differently at this new school, because people don't know who you were before you moved to England.
I would also say take a little bit of time to just observe. So a few weeks, maybe even a couple of months, you know, if you want to, go for it. But my advice would be just observe and listen and watch and just kind of get to grips with what is going on and then decide who you want to be friends with or what you want to do.
Yeah, I think like the first people you meet at school, even like just when it's like year 7 when you're starting a new school normally in England, like the first people you meet probably aren't going to be those people you end up being best friends with. I mean, sometimes they might be, but yeah, I feel like seeing who you vibe with, kind of working out who are your sort of people, because you definitely will find your sort of people.
Yeah,
even though at first you might feel a bit different from everyone because obviously you're coming from a different country, but I'm sure there's lots of people actually in your school year that might have connections to the country you're coming from, or like know people or even speak the same language you do. So I feel like it's just finding that group of people who are gonna like accept you and like are the most similar to you.
As soon as you get out of school, everyone goes and does their own thing. Everyone has bills to pay. Everyone's traveling anyway. Most of the people that you make friends with probably won't even live in that place or country anymore afterwards. You know, a lot of your schoolmates might go and do a gap year in Italy. So It's like not everyone there is going to be there forever, and neither will you. So
yeah, and I feel like I always say on this podcast how like school is literally only important for those years, and like being popular at school, having friends at school does not mean you will be popular in life or successful in life. And like even if you do have a really horrible time at school, it's only for those 5 years or those 7 years, and I promise there is like light at the end of the tunnel, and life will get so much better after you leave school. So sometimes it's about just getting through it, like putting your head down. You know, if you don't have any friends and you're not having a good time at school, just take it day by day and just try and get through it. And I promise like life will get so much better after school. Like I feel like older people always say like the school years are the best years of your life, but
who says that?
I feel like our like parents say that.
No,
whereas,
they don't.
No, I understand, because it's like, oh, the good old days, the school days. I think where that comes from, though, is that was kind of like the last time that you had no responsibilities. So a lot of people look back on like the glory days, because that was when you're old enough to know how to have fun and to be conscious of what's going on. But you're not old enough to have responsibilities. And even at university, you have big responsibilities. You've got, you know, bills to pay, and you're living on your own, and you're studying at school. That's the sweet spot. So I think that's where people say those are the best days, because it's like carefree,
because they don't have people on Facebook, so they don't remember what actually happened. Like, do you remember when Mum like found all of her old friends on Facebook? But I feel like because we keep our friends from school on social media, we just like continue to remember who all these people are, whereas I feel like if you don't have that, you would just forget, and
you'd like romanticize it. Yeah.
Do you think there's anything about British schools that someone from overseas, especially Italy, I'm thinking of like the food in the canteen. Like I feel like I need to warn them of how bad the food in the school canteen is going to be.
If you're Italian and you're going to a UK school, do not have any pasta on the vicinity. Just don't do it.
It won't be nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
or pizza.
Or pizza. Yeah, the pizzas at my school, to be fair, I used to get them. The pizzas at my school were like a pita bread with like really cheese and tomato. It was basically just like a
stodgy like wedge of bread. I wouldn't call that a pizza.
But stick to the paninis and the chips.
Paninis are good. Yeah, I feel like one thing that I love though, when I went from primary school to secondary school in the UK, like when we went to like high school, then you were able to like buy whatever you wanted in the canteen, which was so crazy, because obviously in primary school you normally just get given like whatever the food is that day, whereas when I was in secondary school it was like, oh my god, I could just get like 10 paninis if I wanted, like, and we at my school the money was like on our fingerprint. Did you guys have that at your school?
Hell?
So Josie and Daisy both went to the same school, which was a different school than me, so I didn't have
money on a fingerprint.
It was like the last couple of years I was there.
Did you have fingerprint?
Yeah,
so you used to scan. So how did you used to pay for your school dinners?
With money?
Oh, with actual cash.
I don't remember,
because we weren't allowed to have cash.
I think I mainly just had school dinners. I mean, packed lunches that Mum would pack.
Okay, someone said, I feel so bad when I'm by myself. I always seek others' validation and company. How can I learn to be comfortable on my own? I feel like this is a good question for you, Daisy, because you live on your own, whereas I've personally never lived on my own. Have you ever lived on your own, Josie? No, so I feel like you were the first like female in our family to ever live on their own, which is kind of crazy.
You're quite a groundbreaker.
I feel like that is happening a lot, like in our generation. It's the first time so many females have ever lived.
It actually sounds
on
so
their
nice.
own. Yeah.
I love living alone.
But how did you get like used to it and like comfortable? Because I feel like at first, surely it's so like quiet and maybe lonely.
For me, I really appreciate, I'm quite a quiet person in a way. I can be really chatty, but I can go like days without speaking and I'm just in my own head. As I said, I'm quite a spiritual person. I like to go for my walks. I like to be in nature. So I'm just the type of person that is really happy just to be silent and still for ages. I know some people are really restless and they like to do things all the time and they like to be around people all the time. I'm just not like that. I'm really not. So I have lived with friends in the past. I lived with my best friend Molly for 6 years on and off, and that was amazing. And there's so many positives to living with your friends. At my age now, I needed a break and I needed to live alone. First of all, just to simply have more space.
Yeah.
Because every room is my room. When you're house sharing, it's like your bedroom is your room. You can do what you want with it. And then you have to be very conscious of the shared spaces. So I have simply more space and, you know, you just have a bit more freedom. Like, you don't feel guilty if you don't do your washing up. If you do your washing up the next morning, you don't feel guilty for leaving a mess in someone else's space, like, because it's just all your space.
If you're like coming in late at night, it's like, well, you're not going to be waking up anyone that you live with.
Yeah, it just gives you a lot more autonomy and a lot more freedom. And I think if you do live alone and you're worried about being lonely, you can always just have your friends over and you can go out. You can kind of pick and choose when you can be social. For me, that was really important because sometimes when you're living with people, it's like you're kind of constantly socializing because you're constantly with someone, even if they're your partner or your friend. You're subconsciously just always like socializing a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think for me, just because of my personality type, living alone has gotten me into a really calm place.
I think people say like you're either the type of person whose cup gets filled up by spending time with others, or your cup gets drained by spending time with others, and then you have to spend time on your own to fill it back up. And I think there is definitely like two types of people. It's the same as like introvert versus extrovert. Like, I have friends who will hate to be alone and they constantly want to be with other people, and like even if they're at home alone, they'll be on FaceTime to their friend all evening, whereas I'm the sort of person who needs that time on their own. And even though I live with my boyfriend, like, I like to have a bath and like relax on my own, or like go for a walk or go to a workout class, which I've been doing recently. And it is nice to have that time where you're just like thinking your own thoughts and not having to like actually physically speak out loud and like talk to someone.
You're not having to be something for anyone. You're not having to do something for anyone. And it's not from the point of view of being selfish. It's just being with yourself, because taking care of yourself is a task in itself in a way. You know, you can be your own emotional support. You've got to take care of yourself, cook for yourself, continue living like a healthy person when no one is there to kind of support that. So I think it teaches you to love yourself in a way, because it's just you and you against the world. Like, you're just with yourself and that's just all you have. And then also when you do see your friends, it's so much more exciting. So my friend Molly, I lived with her for years. She comes over sometimes for a sleepover, and it's just the most fun night ever, because we got so used to just being with each other all the time. So now when we watch TV together, we're just like giggling the whole night, because it's like, oh my god, I can't believe you're here. Like, it's because I'm always normally here alone. And you can just be more creative. And like I said, every room is your own. And going back, the original question was how to be happy alone. I think it just takes time. And as Grace said, you're either happy to be alone or you're not. If you're worried that there's something wrong with you because you don't like being alone, that's okay. Like, some people just don't like being alone.
And you can never know until you do it. Because I'm intrigued now. I'm like, I want to live alone. But I'm married, so I'm not going to be.
You just need to find someone that also doesn't like being alone and then be with them all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you really hate being alone, there are other people out there that also hate being alone, and then you just spend time with them all the time. Like, just find your people.
You could also maybe consider getting a pet. Maybe, like, a dog is quite hard work, but maybe a cat.
Or like a guinea pig or something. Yeah, if you are someone that is lonely at home, but you just want to live on your own still. Yeah, I think, or even like some people will, you know, live with a friend, even if financially they don't need to live in like a house share or have like a flatmate. Sometimes that might be better for you and you might feel happier doing that. So I think it just depends what you feel like you want to be doing.
Yeah, basically I think what we're saying is there's nothing wrong with not wanting to be alone. You don't have to be happy being alone. If you're forced to be alone, there are things you can do, like we said. Just, I think just getting used to it.
I think in terms of, aside from like living arrangements, I feel like something which I've definitely got way better at in the past few years is like doing just general stuff out and about on my own. Like I feel like when I was like a teenager, if I needed to go to the shops, probably as well for like safety reasons, in terms of like my mum wouldn't just let me go to the shops on my own, but like I always used to go with friends, or like, you know, if I wanted to try a new restaurant, I would wait
Social
until someone's free. I would never want to do things on my own, whereas now it's like, it would be nice to do some things with friends, and I will ask, but if no one's free, I'll just go and do the thing on my own, rather than waiting till someone's free to do it. So I think it is nice to sometimes get kind of comfortable with your own company, and like I feel like there are so many friends I have who would never go and eat in a restaurant on their own, because it is just a very like anxious kind of thought. I feel like it is such a fun thing, and it's such a nice thing to like take yourself out on like your own little date on your own, and like do things that you want to do on your own.
I know people that used to go clubbing on their own, which I find quite extreme. Like I don't know if I could do that.
I've been to a rave on my own before,
but like
years ago. I wouldn't do that now.
Do you get scared of like...
I feel like I would feel like I'm like a weirdo. Like I feel like people would be looking at me like they're on their like...
Yeah.
But then I guess that's just me being anxious. Yeah. But I feel like if you're going clubbing like and you're like at uni or something, you'll bump into people that you know. So like it's not that weird to do that.
Yeah, I guess it would be fine. I think that's just like in my head, that's like the line.
It's just
where I'm
in
like,
your
I don't
head.
think I could do that.
I think it's just like exposure therapy kind of thing, where it's like if you do something enough times, you just realise that it's simply not scary and that no one cares, and the sun comes up the next day and like no one remembers. So, but I mean, you know, if you're on your own in a club, you're maybe feeling anxious, like, oh my god, I'm here alone and I'm such a weirdo. But if you see someone else alone in a club, you don't think there must be something wrong with them. I mean, maybe club is the wrong example, but let's say you're in a cafe having a coffee and a croissant on your own,
fine.
and you see a lovely lady sitting having a coffee on her own, smiling. Do you think, oh my goodness, she must be such a weirdo? Or do you just think, oh, that's nice, she's having a coffee, and then you just move on with your day? Like, that's you, but you don't, because you're in your own head. I think it's like an ego thing. Subconsciously, we're always in our own head so much.
You always think you're the main character of everyone else's lives, not just your own.
The main character of your own life, so it's okay to
coffee
feel
shop
that
is
way.
like the first level of difficulty.
Yeah.
I feel like it goes coffee shop,
Restaurant,
lunch, dinner, club.
Yeah, and cinema's in there somewhere.
Oh, cinema's like the first level. Cinema's like before cafe. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I would feel more awkward.
I'm
But
going
no
on
one's
holiday on
looking
my
at
own.
you.
Yeah, Daisy's going on holiday on her own. I feel like that's level extreme, but like I feel like you are very much able to do it.
It's become a bit of a trend, hasn't it? Solo travelling.
Solo travelling, yeah.
So I follow somebody on YouTube called Mark Ferris.
Oh, I love Mark
You
Ferris.
might have heard of him.
Do you know Mark Ferris?
Is he friends with Zoella?
Yeah, I love him.
I have watched his videos for donkey's years, and honestly, he did solo travelling, and he didn't directly inspire me, but it's just something that might inspire someone else, because, I mean, needless to say, I'm not going to be vlogging my trip. So if you need some inspo of somebody that does solo travel and just loves life, Mark Ferris, he is just so positive, and he's just doing all the things, because you can wait around for someone to come around to do things with you, but, you know, until they do, you need to go and experience life. So I'm going on holiday by myself, and I'm not scared. The only thing I'm scared of really is just like coming home and not being in a lovely place anymore. Like I don't feel fear to go away. Obviously there are physical safety things you need to take into account if you're a woman going traveling alone,
and you're going somewhere that we've been on holiday before, so I feel like that's a good like first
going
step.
somewhere really safe.
It's like somewhere that you know, so that helps.
I just feel you don't have to wait for anyone else to do, like, what are we doing today? And
I feel like there was so many things as well that like I would want to do that, but my friends just would not want to do, or like places to travel, or like there's places my friends would want to travel and I would just not enjoy that at all. So it is nice to just be like, okay, I'm not just going to wait around for that sort of person to come and to go with them. Like you can just do things on your own. Another good person to follow that does solo traveling is my friend Bella Hill. She has been posting vlogs on YouTube and on TikTok. I think she went to Vienna or somewhere like that recently on her own. And yeah, I feel like if you are like someone that wants to post online, it's a great opportunity, because I feel like if you do vlog your trip, you kind of got that companion to kind of chat to the camera and like, you know, feel like you're kind of talking to someone. So I feel like for someone, if you're like, have always wanted to post online but you're not really sure, it could be a great place to start to
and you're
going to
get good content when
yeah, and I feel like it kind of could make things a bit less awkward if you're just at dinner, like you could just chat to your camera.
I feel like that's more awkward.
Do you think? I always feel much more comfortable like if I'm sat in a cafe by myself if I'm vlogging, because it almost feels like I'm on the phone to someone, or like, you know.
Do you think that people think you're on the phone to someone, or do you think people think you're vlogging?
Well, I've got the camera out, so yeah, people know it's a camera.
I feel like I would be so much more awkward doing that.
But I feel like I just imagine like I must look like I'm doing a really important documentary, or like that you're doing something really important, and like, so why would they be judging you?
And
it's
also,
like,
what other people think of you is none of your business.
Yeah, honestly, it's always more to do with them.
I don't care what people think. I care how people feel, but I don't care what people think.
Yeah.
Because I'm living with my thoughts. This is my narrative, my brain. What everyone else thinks, I truly don't care. I care about people and how they feel, but other people's opinions and thoughts, unless they're directly affecting me, you just need to get out of your own head sometimes, and it's really, 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 really hard to do. But once you've done it, there's no going back. You can't unlearn that confidence. Like, you can't unlearn a specific type of confidence, and you just can't unlearn it. So it's like exposure therapy. Like I said, you just need to put yourself in the situations, and the more you experience them, you'll never be scared to do them again.
In terms of vlogging in public, I mean, you sound like you're scared, Josie, but I feel like in this podcast it's always just me, like, I saw this on TikTok.
I just feel like it's you're just gonna suddenly be sat there and then you suddenly just go, hello guys, I'm here in a restaurant.
Well,
like if I was doing it here, I would just be like, hi guys.
Yeah, but think of my little camera. It's like quite small. It's just like a little one that goes on the table.
I think if I had my phone, maybe, because then it would look like I was speaking to someone on FaceTime.
I feel like you need to combat your fear of vlogging in
I
public.
think people need to separate anxiety and fear. But that's probably a topic for a bit of a deeper podcast. But
what do you mean by that?
So anxiety is more in your head, fear is physical. So let's say the restaurant was about to fall down and I'm being serious, the ceiling was about to collapse on you. That is fear. Yeah. You would feel genuine fear. But what Susan in the corner who you don't know is thinking of you, that's anxiety. That's not fear.
So yeah, you're not going to get harmed by Susan in the corner.
Yeah, we've all been socialized, and you know, nobody does it on purpose, but we've linked anxiety and fear. So we feel fear, we feel scared, but really it's anxiety.
Yeah, I feel
anxiety is fear. Like, in terms of you, it's like fake fear. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Your brain thinks that you're
That's what I'm saying.
In danger.
Fear.
Yeah.
Learning to separate them is really hard, but you can do it. And once you've done it, you can't unlearn it. And then you just never feel scared unless somebody is, you know, coming at you with a weapon or something, or a cow is charging towards you. Do you know what I mean? Like, those are the times to be scared. All the other times, life is short, just don't care. I'm really bad at advising people with this because I'm just like, just don't care, don't worry about it.
No, but I think it is good advice. Like, sometimes we're just thinking too much. Have you seen that a screenshot? I don't know who it is, as a celebrity, and she was like answering like an Instagram question box, and someone was like, I feel bad about my body or something, and she just replied and was like, you guys just think about yourselves too much. Like, you're just thinking too much. Like, just don't think about, like, we do like criticize and like worry and think about situations, I think, just so much, especially if you're the anxious type of person. But really, it's like, you just gotta look at the bigger picture. And even if I saw someone doing something really weird in a cafe, I might remember it that day. I might even tell my mum, oh, this guy did something weird in the cafe. Literally in a week I would have forgotten it. In a year I would have forgotten it, and now I can't even think of anyone weird I've seen in a cafe. Well, I'm sure it has happened in my life. Like, honestly, you will not remember, even if it's someone that did do something memorable that day. If it's just a stranger, you're probably not even gonna remember it. So flipping that and thinking, even if someone does see me vlogging and they like laugh at me because they're insecure about themselves, they're not gonna remember it forever. Like it's just gonna be a stranger seeing you like for 1 second of their day. And another thing I was saying in terms of like vlogging in public, if you are scared and you're someone that's wanting to post online, I saw this TikTok that was like, just vlog in public, like no one knows if you have 1 follower or 1 million followers. Like the people seeing you in public, they don't know that you're not some really famous influencer. So just like start vlogging as if you are one. Yeah, I honestly always think that. I'm like, they don't know if I had followers, and then I'm like, oh, actually I do have a few followers. So I always think like, yeah, why am I embarrassed? Like this is my job. Like it's not embarrassing to be doing this.
I think it's the millennial in me.
That you're embarrassed.
It's like we're trained to think everything is like embarrassing.
I think my final point on that question is just do not put so much value into what other people are thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You should value human beings. People are valuable. People's thoughts and feelings are valuable. But in terms of what you're doing, why are you linking your value so much to a random stranger?
Yeah.
Like, think about why you're actually doing that. Is that stranger going to do something for your life? Is that stranger going to, change your whole life?
Probably not.
Not. Unless they are, then they don't matter.
Okay, this one is more of a fun question, a bit less deep. What are your favourite places to shop for clothes? That's fun. I feel like we do. Would you say we have like different fashion tastes? I would say maybe me and Josie wear more similar clothes.
You wear a lot more hoodies than me.
I'm more maybe casual than you. You're a bit more dressy, and then I feel like Daisy is much more glamorous and maybe feminine. Like you wear a lot more skirts, you wear a lot more kind of soft colours. I feel like I never see you in like a hoodie.
I don't like hoodies because I find hoods really stressful. I like a sweatshirt without the hood.
The hood, yeah.
So a hoodless hoodie, essentially.
I know what you mean, because
my style is a lot more flowy. I like soft. I love a long flowy skirt. I love a maxi dress. I just love a skirt. Like I'm wearing jeans today, but I very rarely wear jeans.
And I never see you in like blue jeans.
You would never see me in a pair of blue jeans. No. I do own one pair.
Whereas that's like what I wear like constantly.
Yeah, no, I just can't do it. I feel like I'm just wearing, like I feel really restricted in them. I like to be really flowy and I like to have super feminine things, and I like maxi.
Yeah. It is interesting. Mini. I think we all have quite different style.
You can all, like my whole I would wardrobe say, is just like pink and white and nude.
I feel like I would, if I was to like have to shop out of your wardrobes, I feel like it probably maybe a mix of you two I would like steal clothes from.
I think you're more girly than I am.
Yeah, I'm like in the middle of you two.
I never wear a dress ever apart from if I'm going to a wedding. Like that is actually the only time I'll ever wear a dress.
Really?
Yeah. I just
That's
don't.
Weird.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Now I'm thinking of it. I've never seen you in like a short dress.
So you don't like dresses?
Well, I have like one dress, that white linen dress, you know, the short one.
You wore it
That's
for
like
your
my
handy
one dress. Yeah. But I'm like, okay, well, what do I do in my daily life? I work from home. I walk the dog. I go for dinner. Like, when am I going to wear a dress? I guess I feel like when I go for dinner. But
sometimes it's nice to dress up and feel a bit girly.
I don't know. I just don't think I'm a very girly person. I think that's the thing I've realised lately is like, I don't actually feel that like comfortable when I'm wearing like a dress or a skirt.
Feminine clothes.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's just...
Well, it's just what you feel more you in. Yeah. Like, I feel like I do like being girly and wearing dressy clothes, but then also I a lot of the time just dress a bit like very like boyish and just wear like baggy trousers and a hoodie. But I like having the two options, and then I feel like then when I do wear girly clothes I feel even more girly because I'm so not used to seeing myself.
I feel like
in
you
those
dress
sort of things.
for comfort and Josie dresses more for practicality maybe. Whereas I dress for fashion.
Are you saying we're not fashionable?
No, you
absolutely
absolutely are fashionable. But what I'm saying is, around my apartment, for example, all of my books are runway, catwalk, history of fashion, Dior, Saint Laurent, all of this. I love fashion, and I don't just like something because it's a brand. There are certain designers that I really love, and I just love
shapes,
the history of fashion and the silhouettes and the shapes and the fabrics and the history and the art behind it. Like for me, fashion is art. So when I'm wearing like a flowy skirt and like a nice silhouette, like I feel like I've like made myself into a little art project, and I just put like a little bow on my head, and I'm just like a walking runway. Like, I just love it. And that's just for me, like, it's not to be fashionable. It's just because I genuinely love it. Like, growing up, I loved those sticker books where you could be a fashion designer. Like, I always just wanted to be a fashion designer.
Yeah.
So now I'm just like my own little stylist, and I love it. And for me personally, I just don't like wearing jeans because I find them really uncomfortable because I'm really tall.
Yeah, I find it quite hard.
If I had all my clothes made for me, maybe I would like wearing jeans, but you know, I just like flowy things.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to the question, where are your favourite places to shop, both of you? Daisy, where are yours?
I shop kind of everywhere.
I feel like you do like charity shops. You find some really good stuff in charity shops. Whereas I feel like I do appreciate it, and I would love to be someone who gets everything from a charity shop. But I am just quite like lazy, and like the idea of going through all the rails to find one good thing.
But then when you find something good, it
is really
you
fun.
have to have an eye. Like, you can't just go into a charity shop and buy loads of stuff because it'd probably be like a hideous outfit. But what you've got to do is just search for one thing that's nice in there and just think, how am I going to build this outfit up? And for me, I just go for colours. Like, I have a walk-in wardrobe in my apartment, and so you can see all my colours. It's all sandy nudes, pinks and whites. So when I go into a charity shop, for me, I look for anything sandy nude, pink or white, and then I just kind of get
match.
I just kind of get more likelihood of it being something I like.
And then it will match with everything else.
Yeah, and it's kind of like I say capsule wardrobe, but it's not in the way of like only having 4 items. It's in the way that like everything matches. So I have hundreds and hundreds of clothes, way too many, but a lot of them are from charity shops, and they all mix and match with each other because they're all the same colour scheme. So I think have a set kind of style or colour in mind before you go into the charity shop. Else you do just come out looking like a little bit crazy.
Yeah, I feel like my favourite places to shop are probably quite generic. I love ASOS mainly because they do the next day, and they sell a lot of different brands on there. Like, they sell Hollister, they sell Abercrombie, they sell House of CB on there now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they sell loads of stuff, and you can get it. And I have the like next day yearly thing, so I can just get everything next day on there. In terms of like, I feel like my tracksuits, I'm always wearing Hero. I'm wearing Hero tracksuit today if you're watching on video. And I do love Hero basics, like all their like gym stuff's really nice. I also like Pull & Bear for more like trendy kind of items or like summer stuff. Where do you shop more? I feel like you buy more expensive stuff, Josie, than I do.
I buy a lot less stuff. Like, I really think about what I'm buying, and when I do, it's like something good quality that I know will like fills the hole that exists in my wardrobe and is something that I don't already have like a similar thing of. Like, recently I bought some linen trousers from M&S, and they were like the long version because M&S have long
like we all need that because we all have long
which
legs.
Is so hard to find anywhere else,
especially M&S is fairly affordable. In like the more affordable clothing brands, it's so hard to find.
And then for like nice clothes, Cézanne is
what's Cézanne? Is that
you don't know Cézanne?
Is that like a designer?
You need to educate yourself on fashion.
Cézanne is
do you know Cézanne?
Cézanne is a French brand. But they've just released a shop in London.
Is it like a designer?
No, it's not designer. I'd say it's like mid-range, but it's so good. So good. Everything from there, I would literally just wear
I'm gonna
everything.
go stalk them after this episode.
But also lately, I've just been knitting my clothes. So
oh yeah, that is.
Josie makes her own clothes.
Yeah,
she talks about it all the time on this podcast.
Yeah, and I've actually started designing my own thing for the first time. So I normally just knit from knitting patterns that exist already, but lately I've started making a linen top. That is like my own design because I couldn't find a pattern that was like what I had in my head. So it's been really nice to just like have the power to be able to do that and like the knowledge and like I can just make my own clothes. And I really want to buy a sewing machine. Like, I would actually love to like sew my own clothes as well.
Well, you know, Ella, my friend, she's been going to like a sewing class.
Where's that?
Like, I don't know where it is. I'll have to get her to send you the details. But yeah, she's been going to this sewing class.
Fun. I really want to get a sewing machine. I feel like it's even just good for like tailoring your own clothes.
Yeah, well,
like if something doesn't quite fit or if something is too short or too long, like you can kind of fix it a bit, or like if the strap's broken or something. I would love to just know how to fix.
Could you not do like an A-level textiles in the evening?
I feel like You can just learn everything online these days, though.
Yeah,
I know, but if you wanted to go, well, I mean, you do have to do it
to like an adult class.
Yeah, I think that'd be quite
like
fun.
an evening class.
Cool. I'm
You
sure
know,
you
like
can
on
do-
Miranda when they all go to the evening classes. Have you seen
Yeah,
that
I love
episode?
Miranda. It's the most. Miranda taught me to be a silly Billy from a young age.
Yeah, I love Miranda.
If you want to have a boost of confidence, just watch an episode of Miranda.
Honestly,
and just
I love
embody
Miranda
because she's just a silly Billy fool, but we love her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have
like,
you seen
which is-
Miranda?
Yeah, I feel
yeah.
like I didn't get into it as much as you two.
I love
obsessed with
Miranda.
Miranda.
It's just very feel good, and it's very like, well, my friends Ella and Tia, we always say that me and Ella are like Miranda, and then Tia is like Stevie. Do you know my friend Tia? She is like Stevie vibes.
What have you done today?
Yeah,
to
she's
make
like
you
little
feel
blonde, and she
proud?
just is the same vibes as Stevie. So, okay, next question. Someone said this is, I guess, for Daisy specifically. What is it like having two sisters that both have a big following on social media?
It's amazing because I'm just really proud of them, and when you can
Thank
see, oh, you're
I don't really
welcome.
feel like I have a big
Oh,
following on
I
social
feel
media.
like I'm always like, I feel like I have like, whenever I post a video, I assume it's just like 10 people will see it. So whenever anyone's like, you've got a big following, I'm like, do I?
You definitely do.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, I suppose I do. But for me, it just doesn't feel like I'm posting to
Well,
loads of millions of people.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm just really proud of you both, but from a practical point of view, it's just so easy to keep up with what you're doing. It's
Yeah,
just like,
that's so true.
when I miss my sisters, I don't need to FaceTime them. I just watch her vlog.
Just listen to our podcast.
See what I've been doing, yeah.
Like, no, and I mean that genuinely. Like, it's just like, I feel like, you know, if you've watched a YouTuber for years, you feel like you kind of know them.
It's like
even though
parasocial. You have like a parasocial relationship
Yeah,
with them.
Do
like-
you watch my knitting YouTube?
Yeah.
I don't
I have
watch
you on
it.
the
Well, I do
TV.
sometimes.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, I do watch it. I mean, I don't watch every single video,
Yeah.
but
It's quite funny.
It's nice.
I've seen that a lot of people watch my videos on their TV. Like, I think
Yeah.
more than other. I think
Well,
because of knitting
That is
content.
a trend. Like, I feel like everyone watches YouTube on their TV
Yeah,
now.
and
I
I'm
do
like,
that.
Imagining how big my face might be in some people's TVs.
I
and I'm
always
like, oh
think,
my god.
like, is someone watching it and, like, I wonder what their, like, their family probably ends up watching it, like, around the lounge. Like,
and I'm just like rambling about knitting.
yeah, I feel like when I was younger, I would, like, put some YouTuber on the TV and my dad would, like, walk in and, like, start watching it. And I'd have to, like, explain why I like them or, like, explain why it's, like, a good video. So I sometimes think, like, are people doing that to our videos? Are they, like, explaining to their parents, like, who is this person?
yeah, I dated somebody once who I got them really into Sophia and Cinzia.
Oh, yeah,
And
the girls'
then
bathroom.
one time, he was in a coffee shop, or was it a bagel shop? I don't remember. But he texted me and he was like, I've just seen those girls that you admire in the
Wow.
coffee shop. And he didn't do like YouTube
Did
or
he take a
social
photo
media
of
at
them?
all. So he just referred to them as the girls you admire because to him, like, they were like people I really, really admired. And I just thought it was really sweet.
I feel
He
like
didn't take a photo.
I talk about Sophia and Cinzia, like me and my friends will just be like, oh yeah, did you see Sophia did this? And then I feel like our mums would just think it's like one of our friends.
Yeah.
Like Sophia and Cinzia, when it's like, no, it's actually just people we don't even know. But I'm always
Yeah.
like, yeah, did you see Cinzia got the new La Boo
Because you
Boo on
just
TikTok?
know who you're talking about. And I've
Cinzia's
followed them
matcha
for
video.
years. Like, I've watched their videos since like 2015 because
Mm.
I just randomly it was like this calling into you know those challenges. It was like calling in sick to work at places that you
I
don't
remember
work.
that, yeah.
I was watching another YouTuber I watched do those challenges and they came up as a suggestion on the side. So I was just watching loads of different people do the same challenge and that's how I found them because they had also done this challenge and then I just subscribed and I thought they were quite funny and I just watched a few other people. And then over the years, I've just stuck with them. And they're the only, you know how you kind of stop watching people and I've just always watched them.
It is kind of weird now that influencers have been a thing for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people who've probably like grown up and have always known these people and have like seen their lives evolve over time. And
I
like
think Zoe Sarg
you
is
know
black for
so
quite a lot
much,
of people.
yeah, about
because
their
she was like
background.
the OG kind of like.
yeah, it's quite weird. Like it's very, very parasocial, especially when you've been following them for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do
You feel
find
like you
it
know them
weird.
so well.
Well, sometimes even just like when I catch up with friends, like friends from real life, and then they don't need to ask me how I am because they just assume they know
That's
everything
what
I've been
I
up
mean.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's why I love having sisters that are on social media because, and it's also like a cool glimpse behind the curtain because, as we say, growing up, we all of us watched YouTubers, and you know,
we used to make
fake
fake little videos where we were pretending to be
I used
vlogging.
to have like we used to pretend to be vloggers, and now you guys are actually doing it. It's so cool. And I get to, because as I said, I'm a very private person, so I don't want to have my own like public social medias, so it's nice to be able to see what it's like without doing it myself, kind of thing. I guess it's kind of like having a super like famous movie star sister. Like you get to go to all the like cool behind the scenes things, but you don't have to like have all the stress of being in the spotlight. Famous. It's like that, but the Instagram version.
Getting spotted at the gym.
Someone said, how did you cope with GCSEs? I've got my first one on Monday. Well, I would say go listen to mine and Josie's exam episode because we did talk about it for a whole hour. Detail. I would say the main thing when it comes to GCSEs is try your best, but also it is not the end of the world. And honestly, like the GCSEs that you get really doesn't dictate like how successful you're going to be in life or how well you're going to do in life. So I think just don't put so much pressure on yourself, because as well, the more stressed you are, you're not going to be able to revise well or do well in the exams. And if you're more stressed, you're not going to be able to write as clearly. So I think, just taking some pressure off if you can.
Just pick one topic that you are really good at. And I mean, you do need to pass your GCSEs in order to get into college, in order to get into uni. So there's like stepping stones, but you don't need to get an A star in every topic, because when you enter the workplace, you don't get hired to be every role in the company. You get hired to do one role. You get hired because you have usually one specific skill or one avenue. So just think ahead. The whole reason you're in school is essentially just to get a job one day. So, you know, just focus on one topic that you're really good at, because at the end of the day, you can have like 5 A levels in science, history, English, maths, but you can only do one job at a time. So really, you just need to focus on one thing that you're good at, and that's the thing you should stress out about. All the others are just like requirements to get you to the next stage. So don't worry about it too much, guys.
Someone said, what is your favourite takeaway? I feel like that is a fun question.
We're about to get a Chinese
takeaway.
But I don't really love the British Chinese food.
I don't understand, Josie, how you don't like British Chinese. British Chinese is the best thing in the world.
Chinese
but it's I'm not saying it's like authentic and that it's like, you know, the exact same as what you'd get in China, but it can also be really yummy at the same time. Like, I feel like you could say that with any food. Like Domino's isn't proper Italian pizza, but there's a time and a place for a Domino's, and it does taste nice.
Do your top 3 takeaways.
Okay.
I'm just a snob.
Quick
because
fire.
I lived in Australia.
British, Chinese, Indian, pizza. Probably.
Those are like the most basic 3, but they are the best.
Or like if you're saying like Deliveroo where you can get like lots of options, I also sometimes order like Wagamamas. I quite like getting that on Deliveroo.
Love Wagamamas.
I like getting like a kokoro, like, or like someone that does a katsu curry, like Japanese.
Asian fusion.
Yeah, I was going to say mine would be Japanese and
you
then
get
Mexican.
sushi. Mexican, but I feel like Mexican in the UK is not that good. I appreciate
There's a really
like
good one near us.
Yeah, I like getting like a tortilla burrito or like a Chipotle.
Chipotle.
That's more like a lunch for me. I wouldn't get that for dinner. I don't know why.
I think Mexican food is good when it's fresh. So I think making your own Mexican food is always better than ordering Mexican food.
Yeah.
I'm a massive quesadilla lover. So all my friends know I make the best quesadillas. So whenever you get a quesadilla from like Taco Bell or even like a nice restaurant,
soggy,
it's just never as good as
Yeah.
mine. So I'm like, Mexican food has to be fresh. My favorite takeaway is probably something like Greek or something that Middle Eastern.
I like getting like Lebanese. I feel like that does deliver quite well. Like it tastes
Persian
nice.
food, Lebanese food, Iranian food. Also just love a classic pizza. Like I love a thin crust pizza.
What was your
like,
favourite
chili oil.
pizza? Like in like the UK chain restaurants? I think I would say Francomanca. Actually, if we're talking London, I would say Pizza Pilgrims. But in terms of like chain restaurants, I quite like Pizza Express. Because you get the dough balls with the garlic butter. Like, that is just really yummy.
There's something
and I know that's quite boring and basic.
I'm getting really hungry.
There's something really comforting about Domino's.
Domino's, yeah. If I'm in the mood for a Domino's,
feel like
that always is really good. And the vegan garlic dip from there is really good.
Yeah, but Domino's takes me back to being a teenager. Because
Same.
I feel like when you're a teenager, it's like getting a Domino's. I don't know if it was just me. It's the most exciting thing ever because it feels really American to get those like big, thick pizzas.
Yeah.
And it all comes in a box. It's like, oh my God, it's Domino's.
I feel like on Saturdays it would be like a treat.
Yeah.
Like normally our mum would get us like just a frozen pizza or like a pizza from supermarket.
Yeah, and those are delicious.
The weeks that we would be allowed to get a Domino's was like the best ever. And we'd get like the $7.99 collection deal. So it wasn't even like loads of money, but
back
it was
in
just
the day, it was like we couldn't get it delivered to our house. Do you remember?
Yeah, we'd go pick it up and you'd get the collection
you'd
deal.
have to go and collect it.
You couldn't even get delivery.
And then the whole car smells like pizza and someone's
So
got it on their
yummy.
lap and it's hot.
and someone
it's
eats
so
it. Or like whenever even I get like a Chinese, like people were eating the prawn crackers on the way home.
Fish and chips. We hadn't considered that as a takeaway.
See,
that's good.
Since being vegan, it's never as good.
It's just,
and I mean, I have had good vegan fish and chips, but like the most generic fish and chip shop isn't doing vegan options, so I just have to get chips, which is nice. And I would say I fancy it maybe like once every 6 months. I'll be like, oh yeah, I just want chips. But I feel like for me, for the amount of money it costs, I'd rather spend that on a different takeaway, just in terms of vegan. But I do understand, and I think if I did eat fish and chips would be up there.
Yeah,
because with tartar sauce, it is really yummy.
Yeah, mushy peas.
Tartar sauce.
I love a burger.
Oh, from a fish and chip
Five
shop.
Guys. No, just like a classic
takeaway
burger. I actually really love Burger King. Much more than McDonald's.
I feel like it is quite expensive though.
Gourmet Burger Kitchen, Five Guys. Sometimes if you're really hungry, all you want is burger.
Yeah.
To sum up, I would say...
What about an Indian? Do you like Indian?
I do, but I like very few things from the Indian because I can't really eat onions and I can't really eat spicy food. So like no garlic, no onion, no spicy. It's kind of like, well, I like Indian food, but it doesn't like me. So I would like a korma and just like the plain chicken, you know, the ones
like tikka,
chicken tikka. So I feel
just
like
chicken tikka,
Indian, it's a bit wasted on me. Like I don't appreciate it as much as I should. So therefore, it's not my favorite. But I appreciate the art.
I really like Indian because I think they have really good veggie options. Because a lot of Indian people don't eat meat, so they have a lot of good like veggie dishes.
Yeah. I love a taka dal, but again, it's just full of onion. I just can't.
Yeah, lots of onion. But I think Chinese is always my favourite. So what's your favourite, Josie? Because you don't love British Chinese, do you?
I think Japanese.
Because
that's what, if I think about what I get the most, we get Japanese so much.
What do you get? Just sushi?
But takeaway sushi, is it as good as fresh sushi?
Well, I pick it up from the shop, so it's like they literally just made it, and then it's like
it's not the same as like supermarket sushi.
Yeah, no, not
supermarket sushi is just rice.
Supermarket sushi is just not
rubbish.
Good.
It's just cold rice with a tiny bit of fish in the middle.
Yeah. So to sum up,
Japanese is your favourite.
Yeah.
What do you guys get from the Chinese? What are you having tonight?
Tonight I've ordered
chicken chow mein.
Chicken chow mein.
That is the most like generic order.
Yeah.
I feel like you need to order more different stuff because that's why you don't like it, because you haven't tried.
I've tried other things and I didn't like it, so that's why I've gone back to chicken
I've
chow
ordered
mein.
chicken with pineapple.
What is that? Is that like a saucy one, or like what is it?
So it's pieces of chicken.
Because I hate pineapple on pizza.
With pineapple. See, I love pineapple on pizza. This is for me. This is like the Chinese takeaway version of pineapple on pizza. My favorite pizza is loads of cheese. Like I'm talking loads of cheese, pineapple, olives, and sweet corn.
Oh,
I like the sweet and the salty.
I don't
my
like sweet corn.
My favorite
sweet
popcorn is the sweet and salty. I love the sweet and the salty. So that's why I'm getting that from the Chinese tonight. Chicken and pineapple, and then I'm going to have a little bit of Josie's noodles, just a tiny spoonful. I haven't told her yet. No, I just assumed that there would be so much.
You can have some of
but that's all I'm having.
Oh, if that's all you're having, I'm not going to.
You can have some of my noodles. I got vegetable noodles. You can have my rice. I got rice chips and noodles.
Spring rolls.
Vegetable
and
spring rolls.
Prawn toast.
Yeah, Daisy last minute ordered prawn toast.
I had never had prawn toast in my life before. Shout out to my best friend Molly. She introduced me to prawn toast a few years ago.
I've never had it.
She loves prawn toast.
What is prawn toast? Is it actual bread?
Yes. So
it's just fried bread with prawns on it.
It's fried bread with loads of sesame seeds on it. Like a sweet kind of honey glazed sesame seed piece of bread with mashed up prawns on it.
Oh, nice. You know, one thing that I have...
Nicer than
I don't think it even has prawns on it. I think it's just got some sort of powder that tastes like prawn.
Well, it's prawny.
I think one thing
It's like prawn crackers.
something that I've discovered at the Chinese takeaway is getting crispy seaweed, which sometimes it's not veggie. You have to check because sometimes they put like fish flakes on it. But if you just get it and get a veggie one, it's so nice because it's like sweet.
Yeah.
And then to have that with like your other dishes
I thought you didn't
that are
like
spicy.
sweet and salty.
No, I do like sweet and salty. I just don't like pineapple. No, I just don't like. I don't like pineapple because I don't like the texture of it.
That's the bromelain.
I don't like the like stringiness of it. Yeah. But I do like sweet and salty. Yeah. I do. But yeah, so I like the seaweed at the Chinese. But I didn't actually order that tonight. Now I'm kind of regretting it. Do you think if I ring them up now, they can add it to our order in time? I'll think about it. Anyway, today I ordered, me and my boyfriend always share, and we always order loads because we normally have it or he eats it the next day. So we got black bean tofu, which is just like the classic black bean sauce with tofu. If you have never eaten tofu before, or like you want to try veggie food, I would recommend it from a British Chinese takeaway. Sometimes it's called bean curd on the menu because the way they make it just is so yummy. It's like the best form of tofu ever, like from any
Is it kind
cuisine.
of sticky?
It's kind of like squishy. I think they fry it first and then put it in the sauce.
Okay.
So it's like absorbs all the flavour. It's almost like a sponge almost. And it just tastes so good. Like I've never been able to recreate it at home the way they have it in the Chinese. I don't know what they do to it, but it just tastes so good. And I've tried like loads of different Chineses and it's always really good in the UK.
Lovely.
So I got that with black bean sauce. And then we also order tofu with salt and chili, which I don't know if they do in every Chinese, but they do it at our local Chinese, and it's basically bits of tofu fried in like batter, and then they put it in the salt and chili spices, you know, like
that sounds so nice, especially with some of that,
and it's really crispy. Like it's not got any sauce, it's just like the pieces of tofu, and it's so yummy. And then with that I always get a portion of curry sauce because then I dip it in the curry sauce. And then I also ordered vegetable chow mein but with rice noodles instead of egg noodles to make it vegan. So you can have some of that, Daisy, if you want.
I just wanted to taste.
And then we also get just boiled rice as well. And salt and chili chips. See, we've ordered a lot tonight, but we're probably going to be eating it for next week.
Can you tell that we're about to eat a takeaway? Because
I'm
we
so
spent
hungry.
this podcast talking about our
just
takeaway.
for us three, we've got the whole family having this takeaway. So
yeah, we're not. That's just
not
not
gonna
like
be
me
rolling
personally
home.
eating all that. That is just like what we've ordered for the table. You know, on Gavin and Stacey, where they're like sharing, but also don't eat too much because I do want to eat lots tonight because I'm very hungry.
If you're ever stuck with what to eat and you're starving and you want something quite healthy but filling, order a Subway.
I would never think to order a Subway.
Exactly.
Does the bread not go soggy?
But wasn't there this graphic that was like, there's 500 different types of chemicals in Subway bread?
I feel like that's in America. I feel like America Subway.
I wonder if they've changed that now, because that's just what sticks in my mind when I think about Subway.
Well, isn't it in America that the bread at Subway has to be called cake because it's got so much sugar in it?
Isn't it something like it has the same chemical that's in a yoga mat or something? There was something really weird.
I feel like that is fake news.
I don't know about
I feel
that.
like the UK has much stricter food laws, so like surely
takeaway Subway, it comes wrapped up in the paper and then they put it in a box, and if you get it toasted, it's just something to note,
I did
guys.
used to love Subway. Like when I was younger, I remember like always visiting you at uni, Josie, and we'd get Subway, and I always had the exact same order.
Very American, isn't it?
I remember like at least twice in that house, I think that was your first year house, we would get Subway whenever we'd come to visit.
Me and my best friend got a Subway the other night, delivery. We were starving and it was really late, and we were like, we can't be bothered to cook dinner, but we didn't want like a thick, unhealthy big takeaway. And I said, let's just order a Subway.
It is good after a night out, actually.
I feel like Subway used to have loads of vegan options, but now they've like removed most of them. Like I remember that at one point they had like a meatless Mariana meatball one with vegan cheese. Ooh. And that was really good. And they
don't do that anymore.
No, I think they've got rid of a lot of their veggie options. I think now all they have is like
not a trend anymore.
A vegetable patty, you know, like made of vegetables, not even like nice.
Boring.
Yeah, like if they did like vegan ham and cheese, I would be going to Subway all the
chicken.
time. Yeah, but I don't think they have many options. Well, I might research that after, because I did used to like going to Subway. Have you seen they do the foot-long cookies? Have you ever tried those?
I've not.
It's like a cookie, but it's like a foot-long. Really it's like in a Subway
Somebody
shape.
send me a Subway foot-long
Yes,
cookie.
if Subway's listening, let's do a little mukbang in the next podcast. What did you used to get?
I just said that they've got 500 different types of
But I like the
rainbow.
The rainbow cookie and the macadamia white chocolate cookies are the best. You can get a box of 12 for £5, and you get a selection of all the flavours.
Whenever I was a kid, I would always get Subway. Like if we were in a food court and we were getting lunch on a weekend, like I would get Subway because they do this like kids meal deal where you'd get like half a side, like I think it's like 3-inch
oh my God, that's
Subway,
so cute.
and then a cookie and then crisps and a drink, and it was like the best thing ever. Okay, I feel like we have been talking about food for the last 20 minutes and we are all getting really hungry because we're all going to go have a Chinese. Josie says we have to end the episode
Josie's throwing a tenty on the floor, as they say in Australia.
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone say that.
Real Housewives of Sydney. If you don't know, get to know.
Okay, well, anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. Let me know if you liked us having a guest. Let us know if you want Daisy back on the podcast.
I have quite a few topics that I want to cover. So if you guys want me back, I want to talk about my favourite movies and TV shows, nostalgic movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
A lot of worldly wisdom, spirituality.
Yeah, I feel like you're very good at like horoscopes and things like that.
We
and,
could
like,
do a horoscope, zodiac
signs.
episode. I'm into that.
Yeah,
I could do both of your birth charts.
Yeah, see, I have no idea what that is. So yeah, that might be useful. So if you guys do want to see that, let us know in the comments. As always, make sure you're following us on Instagram at mybigsisterpodcast. And if you do have any longer dilemmas or want to be anonymous, feel free to send an email at mybigsisterpodcast@gmail.com. My socials are all at Grace Tutty. Josie, what are yours? You never know them.
Hey, I've remembered
Josie,
them now. Josie Tutty on Instagram.
And what on TikTok?
Josie Violet on YouTube. I think.
What about TikTok?
To be honest, I don't know. You'll find me.
You'll find her.
My socials are on private.
Yeah, Daisy is not on social, so if you do want to get into contact with her, then just leave it in the comments.
Go
of this
through Grace
podcast.
and she'll ask you, and I'll send you a personalised video of advice if you want, or I'll come back on the podcast.
Yeah,
but I just do not want a public profile.
Yeah, but yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. I hope you're all having a really good week, and we will be back next Wednesday for another episode. Bye. Guys.